Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of November 28th through to December 5th. With the moon moving through Aquarius this week, I'm going to be theming the readings around hopes and wishes. So Aquarius is ruled by the 11th house, and of course that involves hopes, wishes, friendships, as well as sudden changes. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life this week, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So what does Sagittarius need to know about hopes and wishes this week? If you don't have time for the shuffling or you don't enjoy it, just look at the scroll bar below, see when the cards are laid on the table, and the reading will begin at that time. It's usually around the 3-minute mark. Otherwise, if you enjoy the shuffling like I do, stick around. We're just looking for 3 jumpers. Whoa. So as you know, I generally don't take groups of cards at once, unless there's 3 at a time and they all jump face up. Or if there's 2 that jump face up together, I will use one as a qualifier to the other. But if I get generally 3 or more in a little group of cards, I will continue shuffling. Let's just see if we can get 3 individual jumpers here. And there's our first. Wow, there's our second. And we're just looking for one more jumper here for Sagittarius. The theme of hopes and wishes. Nice. So the first thing I'm recognizing here is that healthy boundaries are going to be really important this week, whether they're internal to you. So if you're changing up the language by which you address yourself, for example, if you're paying attention to your internal dialogue, you're going to want to capitalize on your healthy boundaries this week. If you've been doing healing work in your life and you've decided not to call yourself names, for example, or you've decided to address yourself in a loving way, the more you're making that a habit, the more that's going to become real for you, and the more it'll feel just very ordinary. You won't have to put a lot of time and energy into that. Just like any other habit, everything takes about 4 weeks to 6 weeks to finalize. So if this is the beginning phase for you, continue in this direction. It behooves you to speak kindly to yourself. If indeed these are healthy boundaries that you're presenting to other people around you, put your foot down, okay? You really want to be strict with these healthy boundaries that you've set. Even if someone doesn't agree with you or doesn't understand where you're coming from, or they just don't want to abide by the personal rules that you've created for yourself, that person is no longer allowed in your healthy space, okay? It doesn't mean a fight. You don't have to argue about it. It just means that, oh, okay, you're going to talk to me like that. Well, you know, I'll talk to you another time. I'm busy doing something healing in my life, okay? So that's just one area that we're looking at in terms of general energy here with the armadillo. Raven is the card that represents you this week. This is magic. This is a change in consciousness. This is why, first and foremost, I looked at the general energy being the healthy boundaries, because this is what we're speaking about generally this week for you. We're looking at changing paradigms in your life. Primarily healthy boundaries here, because of course we have stamina here preceding the magic card, and of course stamina is the sense of something already having been begun, right? you need to continue. It's like a momentum card. So you have the stamina to carry forward, and you might even be seeing what amounts to or what feels like a magical result, but it truly is a change in consciousness for you here, Sagittarius. And it very likely is surrounding your sense of boundaries or healthy boundaries here. 10 to 1, this is going to be an internal manifestation for you. Yes, it could include other people. Obviously, other people are going to have to interact with you on a daily basis, but it's going to be because you've set the ground rules for yourself, right? You've begun treating yourself a specific way that is healthy and loving. You've begun switching up your internal dialogue, even habits, right? Habits that were unhealthy to you that you've identified, and you've made concerted efforts to switch up in view of healthy living, or in view of a healthier lifestyle, or just a healthier self, a more loving and healed self, that this is coming to fruition for you. So we're looking at magic. Essentially, it's a changing consciousness. This is where you are sitting this week. And in terms of hopes and wishes, this is what you've been working toward. And this could very well come to fruition for you this week. If not in totality, we're looking at a very major phase of personal, spiritual, or economic growth here, or relational, okay? Whatever is most prominent in your life this week. As I mentioned here, we have Elk. We're looking at stamina. We're looking at a momentum, something already having been started, and you having the wherewithal and the fortitude to see it through. Whatever you're engaged in this week, it is very, very important to you. It could very well be a soul calling. No one's going to put time and effort into something that doesn't mean anything to them. So this is going to have to be very meaningful to you. I really do hope that it is your personal self, your personal wants and wishes, desires, and even very possibly spiritual growth here, Sagittarius. And look at this beautiful snake as your probable outcome card. This is transmutation. Transmutation is a little bit different than a transformation. And transformation is lovely. It means you can become someone or learn to become someone that you previously didn't believe that you could. Transmutation is a whole other level. It's like superseding something that you didn't even know existed. It's like listening to a higher calling. If someone transforms, it's usually through an act of their own volition. A transmutation could very well come out of the blue. And again, with the 11th house here, we're looking at sudden changes. So there's something that could really become really obvious as a change, but a sudden change for you this week, especially with magic preceding a transmutation. This could even feel like a shamanistic revelation for you. You could be putting yourself through something on purpose. I just wanted you to see the armadillo here if I hadn't shown him. This is where we're looking at healthy boundaries. Like I said, even if it's something that you hadn't planned for yourself or something that you didn't even understand was coming next, the fact that you were brave enough, that you were courageous, that you were interested enough, that you were even, curious enough about to try looking into, to even practice, to see for yourself, as that healthy skeptic, right? Sagittarius is the philosopher of the zodiac. You could have said, I read a lot about whatever subject you're looking at. I'm going to put it to the test, but I'm really going to give it the college try, but I'll put it to the test because I want to see if this is real. This is actually a very healthy way to examine the self and to self-actualize, Sagittarius. So if that's the route you've taken, there could be a transmutation here that is quite a welcome surprise for you, that's going to feel as though it's magical, but remember, this is due to your own personal efforts here, and it will amount to a change in consciousness. It's very likely that this outcome will be permanent for you. Here we have answered prayer and emerging. Well, no kidding. Yes, you've been looking for higher meanings and more soul meaning for yourself. Healthy boundaries really showing the fruit, okay? Really blooming for you this week, and it's going to lead you to a real sense of inner joy. Obviously, other people are going to be reacting to you very differently, and it might even upset somebody, right? If somebody is used to treating you a certain way, now they can't. well, they need to deal with that, right? You can't apologize for where you are right now. Some people need to be left behind. Some people will follow you, okay? The people who truly understand this. So an answered prayer could simply mean that you're able to walk away from something that wasn't working for you, or someone who was difficult is leaving your immediate surroundings, and they're welcome to come back when they accept you for who you are and emerging 100%. Emerging. Look at this. Transmutation. Emerging. Yes, you are coming out through the other side of something that you've been working on of your own volition. It really matters not if it was something that you had considered would become true for you and you worked towards something in general, or it was something that you thought you'd give a shot out of a healthy skepticism. The fact is that your changing consciousness is very real. And very meaningful for you. Message in a bottle. Listen, something awaits you that is specific to you. This transmutation is going to lead you to probably speaking with individuals with whom you never thought you'd have contact with, at least one, or someone will be showing up in your world this week within this paradigm, okay? Within this sort of changing consciousness, the healthy boundaries. It could be that you're doing work with at least one other individual in process of this as well. So you could be relying on one another, and you could be sharing messages that are important to the both of your growth this week. And there could be a social media message that is available to you here, or that you are able to reach someone else through a social media message here with regard to this theme for you this week, Sagittarius. So again, another beautiful week ahead, really switching up, a change of consciousness, which is going to amount to magic. Beautiful to see for you. I know you've been working hard on yourself. And yes, answered prayers emerging through something that's going to feel shamanistic, even if it's a shedding, even if it feels like you're letting go of something. You know, you're going to want to release the old you with love. You don't need to think that you're wrong or bad in order to change. It's just that, you know what, we can all grow. We can become more of who we are. You don't have to be wrong. You don't have to be bad to change. You just become more. And I really see that this is what's happening for you. I don't think that this was something that you were afraid to let go of, or that you had to hate in the first place, which is another element of fast and lasting growth here, honestly, is accepting yourself exactly who you are, even through your changes. So that is your reading for the week. Sagittarius, I hope that you enjoyed that. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And subscribe to my channel. It's free to do that. Hit that notification bell. You are alerted to all of your weekly uploads. And like my videos, that really helps me out as well. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate all my subscribers. Until we meet in the next video. Bye for now.